get strategic about success. This session, Salary Secrets, Tools and Tactics to Level the Playing Field, is presented by Canada's first female-focused tech talent partner, Toast. Prepare to gain the AI-driven tools and practical negotiation strategies you need to secure the compensation you deserve. I can't read today, apparently. Please give a huge Calgary welcome to Gillian Emerson and Taylor Nikkel from Toast.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jill. I am our head of talent and partnerships here at Toast. Thank you all for joining us today for Salary Secrets, Tools and Tactics to Level the Playing Field. Today's conversation is about empowerment, understanding your value and communicating it confidently, and helping close the gender pay gap that still exists in our tech industry.
And I'm Taylor Nikkel, senior recruiter at Toast. I work with candidates and hiring managers every day, so I see firsthand how preparation and confidence can change the entire outcome of a negotiation.
We are going to share data, strategies, and practical framework that you can use to negotiate effectively, whether it's for a new job, a raise, or a promotion.
And by the end of the session, you'll have your own personalized negotiation script you can actually use.
Okay. Before we dive in, quick show of hands. How many of you have ever negotiated your salary? Okay.
Nice.
We've got some hands. We can make that all of us. Okay. So, a little bit on what we do. For decades, women have been expected to fit into a tech workforce designed by men. A workforce that questions our gaps, our schedules, and our pay expectations. At Toast, we realized improving the status quo wasn't enough. We needed to redefine it. Our women's collective flips the hiring dynamic in favor of women, partnering with 100+ companies across Canada and the US to build more inclusive tech teams and to better business outcomes.
We're more than just recruiters. We act as strategic partners for both candidates and employers. Our matching process looks beyond technical skills to include values alignment and cultural fit.
It also works. Last year, 84% of our clients interviewed our candidates, and nearly 49% hired full-time or contract talent from us.
Diverse teams have been proven that they just perform better. They drive innovation and reflect the communities that they serve.
At Toast, we don't just help women get hired, we help them grow and stay through sponsorship, upskilling, and leadership development. Okay. Too many things in my hand.
So many things.
Okay, let's start with the reality. Despite decades of progress, women in tech are still earning less, being promoted slower, and are often left out of pay conversations.
Here's what the data shows. Women in Canadian tech earn 82 cents for every $1 that men earn. They move into senior technical roles twice as slowly. 38% have never negotiated their pay, and 71% of organizations admit they don't have pay transparency policies in place.
Those numbers also add up. Every missed negotiation affects not only your current salary, but every raise and bonus that follows afterwards.
A single 10% increase early in your career can add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your lifetime earnings. Research from Harvard and Glassdoor shows that negotiating even once can increase lifetime earnings by over $1 million.
Still, many women hesitate because of beliefs like, if I negotiate, I'll seem difficult. I don't want to make them mad. I want to just take the offer and run with it. The offer probably reflects my value already, and I'm just grateful to be considered.
The truth is, employers expect negotiation. 84% of hiring managers say they anticipate candidates will ask for more.
Negotiation isn't about demanding, it's about aligning on fair value. There we go. Oh, it jumped. Way far. There we go. Okay.
Preparation is the foundation of a successful negotiation. It means knowing the market, understanding total compensation, and being clear on the value that you bring.
Step 1 is to research the market. Stay current on what roles are at your level what roles are at your level that are paying by checking resources like Glassdoor, Levels, and Toast's own compensation insights. All of our recruiters have access to pay bands and can definitely chat with you about like open ranges. We also want you setting that early. Definitely have the conversation as soon as possible and know this from the jump. Make it part of your research when it comes to the role.
And that includes talking to people. Ask your peers, mentors, and other recruiters. Build a personal salary database so you always have context, not just when you're job hunting.
Step 2 is to understand total compensation. Salary is only one part. Equity, bonuses, benefits, flexibility, and growth opportunities are just as important.
And it's personal. Define what matters most to you. Maybe it's flexibility, professional development, or just stability.
Okay, step 3, define your unique value. This is mainly what we're going to be focusing on today. Use this framework in general. We'll dive deeper into this in a second, but I create value by a skill or action, which leads to a measurable result that supports the company or team goal.
For example, I create value by improving front-end performance, which increases user retention and reduces engineering costs.
Okay, we're gonna take 2 minutes. I want everyone to pull out their phones, write it on your notes app. If you've got a notepad in front of you, that works too. And write down 3 things that make your professional value unique. Skills, achievements, and results that set you apart. Also, I find it super helpful to have like a running tab of all of your achievements when it comes to like your current roles. It's really hard to stay up to date to it. So just keep a running note going, especially when you're currently looking, currently working, maybe not yet looking, so that you have those on hand and are more easily like able to talk about them. So yeah, we'll give you about a minute, 2 minutes to start writing those down.
All right, we're back. Does anyone have one thing that they thought of that they want to share with the group?
We're a small group today, also. If you don't want to, that's
Shelby,
okay.
looking at you.
Sure. One thing that I've always brought to the table, and I think is a rarity, is my ability to connect with everyone I meet. So whether that be someone that's in a completely different industry or someone that's looking to find someone else, like a co-founder or a job seeker, I feel like that's my ability, is to really connect with people on their level and pay it forward. Just always grow with the times and see value is everywhere.
Love that.
Love. Anyone else? You want to just talk extra loud? I want to make it.
I don't know if it's one thing, but I think I bring creativity to the team, especially in this role where you want to find things that kind of resonate with our customers and connect with them too. So just finding any sort of avenue with different entry points and like and then creativity piece really helps kind of like fuel that. So
I love this. Yeah. And one thing too, I want to make sure that it's reiterated that when it comes to salary conversations, you can loop the prep in for salary when it comes to your interview prep too. A lot of it ties into the same things. Understanding where your value is, coming across confident in interviews can come across the same way when it comes to salary conversations. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, what holds us back? Before we dive into the how, let's be honest about what holds so many women back from negotiating. Because it's not just about confidence, it's about culture, conditioning, and access to information.
I'm sure we've all experienced it, the fear of being perceived as being difficult. Many of us worry that asking for more might make us look ungrateful or demanding. But here's the truth. Again, employers expect negotiation. When you come prepared with data, it doesn't make you difficult, it makes you credible.
Second, a lack of pay transparency. Most of us are negotiating with less information than the person on the other side. That's not a personal failing, it's a structural problem, which is exactly why communities like Toast share salary data so no one's negotiating blind anymore, and also why we're pushing companies to share salary ranges on their job postings. BC and Ontario, I think, have implemented this now. We want it Canada-wide.
Another, frequent misgiving that we have is misreading the moment. So negotiating doesn't start when you get the offer. It starts way earlier in how you talk about your value throughout the process. You build leverage long before you ever talk about numbers. So kind of what we just went over, what is the value that you bring, and knowing that you're adding to the role, you're adding to the team, you're adding to the company, and that there's a monetary value that goes along with that.
And finally, doing it alone. This can feel isolating, especially when you don't have examples or mentors to learn from. Talk to as many people as you can. Talk to recruiters. That's why we built Toast, to turn silence into strategy, because you're not asking for too much. You're just asking with a bit of backup. Okay, let's see what this looks like in practice. I am Taylor's boss.
Surprise! Okay. We'll show you two versions of the same negotiation, one hesitant and one confident. So I will go and do a version A. I saw the offer and it looks really good. I'm super excited. I was just wondering, is there any flexibility on salary?
We've benchmarked this role pretty competitively. What range are you thinking?
I'm not really sure. I just wanted to ask.
Okay, so see how that version feels uncomfortable, it's easy to brush off, easy to not follow up ever again on my side. Okay, we're gonna try version B now.
Confident version. Thank you for the offer. I'm genuinely excited about the opportunity. Based on my research and market data, I'd like to discuss a range closer to $95,000 to $105,000, which aligns with similar roles for my experience level.
That's a bit above our budget. Can you share how you arrived at that?
Absolutely. The 2024 Tech Compensation Report and Levels.fyi data for Calgary both show a median of $98,000 for this level. In my current role, I improved deployment speed by 25%, saving roughly $100,000 annually. Given that impact and your team's goals around efficiency, I believe this range reflects the value that I bring.
See how that's a completely different conversation? It is not asking for more, it's aligning on facts and on outcomes.
Some strategies that work. 4 strategies to remember. Anchor your range. Lead with research numbers. Again, we've given you lots of resources. There's some later in the slides as well, but there's tons of information out there. And again, talk to your peers. Frame with values. Focus on outcomes, not just your personal needs. So, what did you do? What did you improve? How did it impact the place that you're currently at? And how can you bring that again to this role?
Also something too that you can use lightheartedly, but if you're comfortable or uncomfortable when it comes to like the wording of things, how you're gonna frame this to people, practice it, do the same kind of like role play with ChatGPT. It's excellent. Like use it as a tool for you, not only to get that salary data, it can pull resources for you, but it can also like help you role play if you're uncomfortable with having that conversation. Definitely lean into mentors and your network around you too.
Embrace the pause. State your ask and stop talking. Silence is so powerful. People often try and fill that gap with noise, but if you just state what you want, state what you're asking for, and then just wait for them to respond, it's super powerful. Pivot with purpose. If salary can't move, explore other forms of value. Signing bonuses, professional development, flexibility, or an early salary review.
That brings us back to like aligning where your value is. If it's vacation, if they have unlimited vacation, maybe the other job that you're looking at only has 2 weeks, maybe bring that into conversation also if the salary is lower. Negotiation is a dialogue. You're not fighting for more, you're collaborating to find alignment. Okay, now we're gonna build your own negotiation script. So grab your notes on your phone and fill in each line as we go. So
that's okay. Step 1, anchor with data. Based on my research using blank source, the range for this role is dollar amount to dollar amount.
And then step 2, in my current or last role, the action that led to measurable outcome.
Step 3, you're connecting with that alignment. So that experience directly supports blank company or team goal.
And then the last one is close collaboratively. So I'd love to explore an offer closer to. Always give a range, I would say. Obviously, don't give the range at the very bottom of what you're absolutely looking for. Give the range on the higher end, as I believe it reflects the value that I can bring. So we'll give you a few minutes to work on this. Taylor and I are going to float around and see if there are any questions. We'll sit down and start working with you. But we've got lots of time on this one. So pull out your notepads and your phones and we'll help you out.
So we're all gonna go up. Yeah. We were learning.
I know, right?
I'm ready.
Exact same thing. Make us the villain. I can't wait. Yeah.
In a Slack message.
The best, yeah.
You'd be like, where'd you get this salary, David? And it's really, Taylor told me this.
That's right.
We were at that whole thing.
I love it.
I did have a question actually on the last slide. One of the example phrases is when you can't negotiate on-performance base using like a early performance review as an example, but how do you approach that with confidence that that early performance review will actually lead to something?
That one's sticky. I like to use that one as like a last kind of response because it's like basically banking on the show actually budget or actually want to have that conversation. And it's tricky when you're like 6 months into a new job and you're meant to have this conversation, but you might not have like the measurable outcomes yet, like 6 months in. So I would use that one as a last resort. I would leverage the other things like the vacation, the signing bonus. Signing bonus is a huge one. Lots of people don't know that like plenty of companies offer signing bonuses.
Non-profit companies, though,
That's tricky.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're a non-profit,
Yeah.
so taking that into consideration too. A lot of these techniques wouldn't necessarily work for us
Yeah.
the way it might for a for-profit.
Yes, totally. And like obviously take that into account.
Yeah.
Do your own like market research on the company that you are interviewing for. If you're going the nonprofit route, maybe base salary isn't
Yeah.
something that's like as important to you. Maybe it's more of like that flexibility. So definitely bring that into like market research of it on your own. But yeah, I would say sign bonuses good. And if you're interviewing at enterprise or like high growth tech startups, a lot of them offer those. Vacation is something that companies can be like pretty flexible on unless they have like a standard. Like seeing like the 6 weeks flexible vacation, that's like a lot more in doing that. Pros and cons to that. And then benefits, and then any kind of bonuses too. If you're, especially if you're in like a revenue generating role, like or something like that, where you can actually like show the impact of sales, like add in maybe like some more on the bonus structure side. Yeah.
It's also good to know that everything is negotiable. Even if they tell you it is not, it is always negotiable.
Hot tips.
Don't stand down just because they say no.
That's true.
Just come at it from a different approach.
Can I give you a mic? Can you drop this? This is kind of fun to drop though, no? You do a little mic drop?
I thought it was stolen. Is that a new one or where did you guys find it?
Oh no, we have it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh my god.
It's on.
It's on. Sorry.
It's on. It's working.
It's working.
Let's just take that away from you.
Sorry.
If you're applying for a role where the range is listed, is it reasonable to try to negotiate outside of that range if you're short a certain number?
Shelby. Okay, good. It was crazy down there. It's been a morning. It's been a morning. Everything's breaking. Like an asshole. I didn't realize what this event was down in the East Annex this morning. Okay, so remember how we were talking about how these need to be adhered? Actually, that's a first. I haven't seen them fall off the back yet. I don't know how you just got it up and off.
I don't think I even hit it weirdly.
I have a feeling somebody maybe just didn't put it on properly.
I hope I put it on.
So this poor guy came in. He was over half an hour early this morning and was looking for the foresight event, which is the BDC, which is what I've just discovered is the BDC now.
Okay.
So I was like, I had seen it on the map. I was like, okay. I was like, do you guys see anything for foresight? No.
Is it offset?
Oh no, it's in the fucking thing. It's just constantly different.
Oh.
I sent him away.
No.
He completely left. I was like, oh my god, I feel like such an asshole. Here this guy is, like half an hour early for this event.
And he just
Like,
wanders
oh.
off.
So then I said to the cafe, watch for him, please. If you see him, buy him a coffee.
Yes.
Tell him we're sorry. Because he did say though, this isn't part of Innovation Week. And I was like, oh, well, if it's not part of Innovation Week, it's probably not going to be here then. And he kept saying, I think it's offsite. I think it's actually somewhere else. And I was like, oh, okay. So like he was leading me to believe it was too. And then when I didn't see it, I was like, whoops, good start to the day. Brutal. Yeah, we had security yesterday. Twice now. 2 guys didn't show up yesterday.
Like the security companies, like.
Monkeys, yeah. Like his
Oh, yeah.
boss is what he is.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, but what can you do about it? Can you find somebody else to replace him last minute? Because we need somebody, so that's security. I'm an excellent leaner, so.
Yeah. Exactly. He's intimidating.
Well, that's what I said. I said, I need to switch you out with Nell.
Intimidating teddy bear.
I was like, put a smile on your face and
Yeah.
say, hi, can I help you? Like, you're the one that freaking trains them on how to do it. No, you need to go and do that. So I'm going to switch you with Nell and put her at the front door.
Yeah.
Maybe she's approachable.
I love this session. What I was just saying to her is like we don't have a total comp. Like we just like all they've talked about. I mean, they touched a little bit on other than salary.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot that goes into all of this.
Oh, 100%.
And it's very hard to find comparable nonprofit.
Yeah, that's what I just said. She's like, hey, could I ask for this and this? And I said, for nonprofit.
Yeah.
She's like, no, that's not. Yeah, it is different. Like, you can't expect the same things for nonprofit that you're going to get for profit.
I've 100.
You're
I
not
love
gonna
those
get a signing
conversations.
bonus for a nonprofit.
Yeah. And 100%, and I'm going to say this to, I'm sure you know, 100% exact same role. You can go somewhere else and get a bump.
100%.
100%.
Like,
But what are you looking for?
So this is it. When we came up with the whole, this was I think 5 years ago, we were coming up with a salary basis. And I was one of the 2 people in the company that were under by a lot on where our minimum was that they created.
It's probably
because
because you started so long ago.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, this is a problem, guys. But then also being a manager, because this is when we brought manager positions in. We didn't have them before. Being a senior manager, I made more money than being a director. And I was like, well, why wouldn't I just be a manager then? And
But
so,
well, my first question was the difference between the two.
Right.
Just title.
right,
Like,
right, because if that's the fucking case, then put me as
Yeah.
a senior manager.
Yeah.
But
Like
what
VP.
that discussion was that being a director, you have access to the strategy. And then 2 weeks after that conversation, I got pulled out of all the director and strategy meetings. And I was like, huh, wasn't that fucking funny? Maybe I should go and become a fucking manager somewhere instead of a
Did they
director.
say why?
No, I brought it up multiple times. I said that was the whole promise of me staying where I was that I was going to learn the strategy portion of it and grow as a director. I'm not growing right now. I'm basically a manager that's
Well,
stuck in a meeting,
Yeah.
right?
I have wondered as well.
Yeah,
why
'cause I'm the
there's
only director
people
that isn't
there
in
that
the-
isn't in the.
We used to have director meetings, and then it was changed from director meetings to
I mean, we do talk a lot about like non-day-to-day, which is also I do really hate day-to-day.
Yeah.
Because if the day-to-day is not working,
That's right.
you can't deliver on the rest.
Well, and to be
but it's
completely
like
honest with you, a lot of our meetings back then too, like they were led by Terry. Like it was, let's spend 5 hours talking about the same thing. Oh, we're also going to have the same meeting next week and waste another 5 hours talking about the same thing. So I was also like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't need to be part of these freaking meetings. I have so much shit to do that I don't need to just keep talking about the same things with no outcome, right?
because we do have a lot of talking about funding, right? Like funded program.
Yep.
And like making sure that we can deliver the funded program. Because if we don't spend it, we don't get the money, and we're assuming we're getting or we already have the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in RIN, we get the money up front.
Yeah.
And then we need to spend it.
That's right.
Otherwise, we pay it back.
That's right.
So there is a lot of conversation around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the people leading, like the lead, whatever the hell we ended up calling, whatever the hell Rachel ended up calling
Yeah.
it. I think it's a minimum requirement because I was like, how are we having a meeting? Like, we don't have. I've been here for how long? I'm like, I've never been in a meeting. Like, I've never been in a meeting with Jordan. I've never been in a meeting.
Me being in a meeting with Lance is also the reason that you're not going to give me any more attention.
And you what? Really?
Like when you were like, this is a pure session, but I was like, there's no freaking way.
That is literally the first time I have ever heard that, which is concerning to me. Because that means that people that I'm in the meetings with don't know that.
They know that. You're not the first person I told. Well, thank you guys so much. That was fun. Does anyone feel brave enough to share a line from their script? It could be your I create value by statement or your final ask. Anyone? Anyone? Anyone?
Come on, ladies.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Your boss is here. They'll hear it.
He's not here. Oh, he's not here. Oh. Anyone else? Maybe he needs to listen. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, we got a volunteer. Sorry, I am kind of winging it. I am kind of winging it. I didn't do my homework, but I'll do the value statement. So in my last role, I worked directly with over 20 founders at a time, but still managed to build strong and meaningful relationships that led to a personal NPS of over 90.
Woo! That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone else want to share?
Just want to throw it. I can do it, but I'll wing it.
Woohoo!
Okay. Again, I'm sorry. I also didn't do my homework, so I'm just gonna sit here. In my current role, I helped kind of help revamp a Startup Essentials program that was an in-pilot that led to a lot of really great feedback in terms of what we can do for next steps and how we can kind of pivot this originally virtual format into an in-person format just based off of the reception that we got from our NPS score. So, yeah.
Woo! Very cool.
Wait, Shelby, catch.
I've never actually used this thing. Okay. In my current role, I led the organization of a startup weekend that led to a, oh my gosh, I had it locked and loaded in my head. That led to a
Huge increase in NPS for startup.
Well, I was gonna say that, but I remember. See, this is why I need to practice. That led a 50% increase in NPS. Something like that. I shouldn't have done this.
No, that's okay.
should've.
It's good to practice though. That's what I've
Yes.
been saying. Like you got to get comfortable talking about it because otherwise it's going to feel really unnatural
Yeah.
when you get into those conversations. It's awkward. Have like your notes on the side. And one thing too that we don't have on here is lots of companies approach salary conversations differently. When it comes to like negotiating an offer rather than like a pay raise, they tend to do it more so like on a call. If you can, if they don't want you to like have an answer right away, say thank you so much. I would love to review this like in written form. If you could send me the contract and then I'll have an answer to you. And if you can, negotiate over email. It's much easier than doing it on a call.
Yeah.
Doing it on a call is really scary and you can like come back and collect your thoughts. Nobody's gonna fault you if you ask to review things in more detail.
Yeah.
And then I'm not as comfortable with this when it comes to like pay raises. Anything you have to note there?
Same thing applies. Like, there's no reason that you have to respond on the spot to something that they've offered you. You know, it's taken months or years usually to get to your salary review. Sorry. So there's no reason that you can't say like, I'll take this away, I'll think on it. Like, can I have until date, end of day, to review it and get back to you?
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And keep, yeah.
For pay raises, you're never going to get a raise if you don't ask.
Yeah.
100%.
Make sure you ask.
Yes, unfortunately, just being really good at your job and showing up every day and being super pleasant is not recognized with salary raises unless you ask for them.
Yeah, ask for it early and often, not too often though. But yeah, okay, amazing. Taylor and I are gonna have a conversation after this. I'm just kidding. Okay, in closing, negotiation isn't about being aggressive. It's about being informed, prepared, and confident in your worth.
Every time you negotiate, you're not only changing your own trajectory, you're helping close the gap for others who come after you.
If you would like to keep building your confidence, I would encourage you all to join our talent pool. This is just a link to join so that you get access to all of our roles that we have across Canada and the US. We do have an open job board. We just do a scrape internally every time we have a new role. So if there's a role that comes up that's a match for you, we will directly contact you. Yeah.
Thank you for spending your time with us today and for taking ownership of your worth.
Woo! Okay. We've got some time. Anybody have any questions before we like? Do we have time? Okay. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah.
Come around. Maybe some advice. I've hired a lot, so great job in presenting this. I think it's awesome, and I think people need to be armed with understanding what the right process is to actually get there. But if the answer is no, right, so that sometimes happens. Sometimes organizations can't afford it, but if the answer is no, it's okay, but be ready for the no. Because I think the problem is sometimes people become deflated, they don't think they're valued, and then there's sometimes their workload and what they do changes. You know, there's always later. So I think part of it is if it doesn't happen the first time, then there could potentially be a second time, and then at that point in time you have to determine if the answer is always no, what your next step is. But I think these are great ways to do that, but always make sure that you're always ready, because if you're going in thinking you're going to get a yes because you have all of the right things in place, sometimes the organization just can't. So be ready for that and how you're going to absorb it. That's all.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's a huge part of it. We get no's all the time. And comes back to like doing that market research on like what's the company that you're interviewing with. Is it a nonprofit? Is it something that might not necessarily have like those huge budgets to work for? Obviously, like take that kind of like self-awareness into account. Yeah,
if I could just share one thing. Actually, the lady beside us, and I can't remember her name right now, we were chatting about that and hiring. And I think part of it is if you're going into a big organization, sometimes they can afford it, but sometimes their scope of work is going to narrow. If you go into a smaller organization, your salary may be a little bit less, but I think you have to look at your career path to determine, is that the right place? Because you may be investing in yourself. You may take a little bit lower today, but in 1 or 2 years, you might actually catapult your career. 100%. So you have to